Welcome Inner Universe community. My name is Sanchita Pandey and here I am with a new topic for you. The topic for today is solve difficult problems easily. Well, how do you do it? So, let me ask you a question. How do you respond or do you react when you have a problem in life? When you see a problem, here comes the problem. Now, what is your reaction? One of fear? Oh my God. Or you feel anxious, too anxious about it, or you want to avoid the problem. I don't want it. Why is it in my life at all? Or do you feel like there is no way out? You feel so helpless now. Why me? Do you ask like that? Or what do? There is problem standing right in front of you. Instead, or there are many other ways also. Some people get drunk. I don't want the problem, so I don't see the problem at all. So I go into drugs or I just get drunk. So there is no problem. But then what happens? When you wake up again, the problem is still standing at your door. It is there. So if you just make your mind think that it doesn't exist, that doesn't take away your problem. It is still there. So what do? You welcome the problem. Well, this is how you solve the problem. Welcome it. Yes. Confront the problem. Don't run away from it. Don't procrastinate. Here is the problem. I confront the problem and now I'll look at various ways in which I can solve the problem. First and foremost is to confront the problem rather than running away from it. That is bravery. Now, when you look at the problem face to face, instead of feeling fear, and believe in your own spirit, believe in yourself, and you have faith in the universe, then what happens is you start getting solutions in your mind. Your mind will work to find solutions because first and foremost you have accepted that yes, here is a problem. I will confront the problem and I am going to solve it. So now you will get solutions from the brain. The brain will work only when you make it work. If you run away, the brain will tell you more ways to run away from anything. But when you look eye to eye into the problem, and then your own brain will become your friend and it will tell you ways in which to confront your problem. That is your intuition working now. So first and foremost is believe in yourself that you can solve the problem. Believe that this problem exists. First you have to say yes, there is a problem. Confront the problem. And now think of ways to solve the problem. When you walk through the problem, what happens is you grow and you learn so much mentally and spiritually. Now you just expand as a person. Your consciousness expands. You cannot just have theoretical knowledge and expand your consciousness, become a better human being. You have to go through some kind of suffering, some kind of problem solving in order to really understand and speak on how to solve your problems. So there is a vast difference between what you know and what you go through, and then you experience it and then you come out of it. Now you have better stories to say, and now you actually know how you can confront any problem. Benjamin Franklin has said that those things that hurt instruct. Yes, this is how you learn. So in order to grow, in order to learn more in life, you have to first and foremost welcome the problem. The second point here is, are you a helicopter parent? Do you solve your children's problems then and there? Oh, I don't want my child to suffer. I don't want to feel him or her uncomfortable. And so you solve everything for him. You sit with him or her during the exams and you want them to be really comfortable all the time. Now you are not letting your child learn how to solve their own problems. Let them fail, but let them take their own decisions and let them do their own thing. That is how they will learn, and this is how you will be free also. When they grow up, they'll take their own decisions wisely, they'll take their own decisions confidently, and now you do not have to run after them. Oh, have you taken the decision? What are you doing? How are you? You won't have to go after them, because you know they are capable of taking their own right decisions. If you don't go wrong, how will you go right? You have to go through certain failures, certain non-decisions, wrong decisions. Only then can you come at the right decision. The way to any right decision is through wrong decisions. But the better it is if you learn it while you are young. The third point here is, does the problem exist at all? Or are you being lazy? The problem, there is no problem actually, but you are procrastinating something and then it looks like a problem to you. So you have to be clear on that also. Is it something which is in your control, but you are just procrastinating it? Now it seems like a problem. So just do it. That is the solution. Do it. Finish it off. And do the difficult thing first, and then it is over. No problem. And now you are ready to enjoy your life. The fourth point is, think out of the box. Now let me tell you a story of Alexander the Great. He went to a place which we know as Turkey today, and there he was told that whosoever unravels the Gordian knot will become the ruler of Asia. And so this came as a challenge for Alexander the Great, and he said, I am going to do it. He tried to untie the knot. What is a Gordian knot? It is like three ovals joined together, and there is no beginning or end. So you do not know how to untie it. And the three ovals represent the Trinity, or they represent three energies, that is positive energy, negative energy, and neutral energy. And so here Alexander the Great was preoccupied with untying the knot, but he was not able to do it. And so he thought of an idea. He did not lose hope. He took out his sword and then cut the knot, the Gordian knot, into two halves. So humorously, most people say that this is the Alexandrian way of solving the problem. It is known as think out of the box. So this was Alexander the Great's way of solving his own problem. He thought out of the box and did not give up hope. Now, and as prophesied, he did rule vast areas of Asia. Now, another way to solve your problem is to look at any problem and focus on those areas which are under your control. So, you look on those areas which you feel are under your control and just try to find solution for those parts of the problem. So, you change any negative part into positivity for you. You become an alchemist. You see opportunities in any difficulty. What is it that you can do rather than sitting and sulking? Yet another way of solving any problem is using Einstein's way of imagery, or using pictures and visions. He used to visualize his experiments in his mind rather than doing everything in the lab. And that is how he made all difficult problems seem really simple. For example, he visualized himself as riding on light waves. Now they appeared stationary to him because he was already riding those waves. He was going at the speed of light waves in his vision, in his imagery. And so he came with so many solutions in science. So look, even in science, he was using the art of imagination. Imagination is always greater than knowledge, because knowledge can take you from point A to B, but imagination can take you everywhere. For example, Mr. X was really ill. So instead of talking about his illness, he started imagining himself as absolutely all right, absolutely healthy. And guess what? He surprised even his doctors, because his mind perceived that he was all right, he was well. He talked wellness. He thought wellness. He thought about himself from the end, that he was absolutely cured. And that is how he actually cured himself, through imagery, imagination and pictures in his mind. You can do it too. Now what if your problem in life is a difficult person you come across every day? In office, in school, in college or anywhere. So now you must realize that every person that comes in your experience is coming to throw light on something which is inside you. It is possible you need to learn more patience, or you need to learn how to ignore such people. It is not that that person is not wrong. It is possible that they are wrong. But however, there is a lot of learning to do for you also. You can learn the art of ignoring. You can learn the art of indifference. The opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Just be indifferent to somebody you do not appreciate. Don't give them the honor of space in your mind when you do not really love them so much. But then don't put out hate also, because that is lowering your own vibrations. Just bless them and ignore them. You have better things to do. Why not unearth the creativity that lies latent within you? Fill your hours with more creativity, creative thinking, imaginative thinking, something you can do better, learning. There is a lot to learn, there is a lot to do. So do not waste your time, do not waste your life energy. Every time you think negative, you are wasting your life energy. Be positive and be free. Ignore. Don't focus on what you do not like. That is all. And if this person really comes and stands in front of you, here is something you have to learn yourself. Take a deep breath and still ignore. You don't have to, go about making everybody learn what you know. You don't have to bother. Mind your own business. That is what you have to remember all the time. A college graduate, a topper, once confided to me that he knew with his knowledge everything that was really necessary to start up a business. And so he knew that you must have adequate capital for investment, you must have the knowledge, you must really garner every kind of skill, and you have to be really prepared to start a business. And what happened? He really never started any business. On the other hand, his uneducated friend did not know much about any business, and he just started with whatever knowledge he had, whatever he could do. And so within a few years, his business grew up like anything, and he became really abundant in his life. So what is the difference between the two? One focused on what was necessary for something, and so what he could not do, why he could not do something. And the other one focused only on what he could do with the meager means he had. And so it was all a difference in attitude. So attitude decides your altitude, and the same applies to any problem too. So what is your attitude towards any problem? Can you do it? Can you solve it? Has it become greater than you? Never let your circumstances become greater than you. James Allen said, and this is my favorite quote, circumstances do not make a man, they reveal him to himself. So what do your circumstances reveal about you? Do you run away from problems, or do you stand there, confront them, and you are a brave person? You are always ready to work on your problems and to grow as a person spiritually and mentally. There's another story about two brothers belonging to a family of where the father was a drunkard, and so one became a thief and the other he joined the police force and became a really senior person there. So the circumstances for both were the same, but one always said, I want to rise above these circumstances, and so he became a police officer, and the other one gave an excuse about his circumstances, and he said, what can I do? Look, my family was poor and my father was a drunkard, and this is why I became what I am today. So, do you use your circumstances as an excuse, or do you have the capability, have the attitude and the intuition and imagination and the energy to rise above your circumstances and to prove not to others but to yourself, to become the best version of what you can become? Sometimes it is a good idea to break a big problem into small parts. And now you can also ask for help. If you know somebody who can solve a part of problem in a better way, outsource the thing to the other person, and then you can solve the other part in a better way. So as you solve each part one at a time, you will come at a good solution for any problem. So this is how you can solve your big problems. Just make parts of the problem. Just break the big problem into small parts and take up small parts to solve. That is how you are not seeing the entire staircase. You are just walking up one stairs at a time, and that is how you cover the entire staircase. So sometimes it is a good idea to think small because you are working on smaller parts of a problem. Thinking small, one at a time, solving each part one at a time. Now, sometimes a good way of solving any problem is by redoing, rethinking and reworking on something which you find as a problem. Now let me give you an example. A milkman was going to sell milk, but what happened on the way was that he found that the milk was sour. Now he could not sell the milk. So what did he do? He did not lose hope. He went back, collected more milk and just delivered that milk to all his customers. But then he had incurred loss on the milk that had turned sour. So he turned that milk into cheese and went back again to the market, sold it. So he collected double the amount that day just by creative thinking, just by not losing hope and thinking on what he could do rather than sitting and thinking that no, today he had incurred losses. So there is always an opportunity in any difficulty if you have the attitude and the bent of mind to look for that opportunity. Also, this was not all. He also thought of ways in which this mistake would not be repeated in future, and so he bought a good container, fridge sort of container where he could store his milk and then deliver the milk every day to his customers. Now, to solve any problem, you have to remember that you cannot keep focusing on the problem and arrive at a solution. You have to focus on the solution to arrive at any solution, because the vibration of a problem is not the same as the vibration of solution. When you think solution, only then you can arrive at a solution. So you need to be creative. You need to think from the end of the solution rather than the problem. And this is only when you accept that yes, here is a problem, it is there, and now I need to solve it. So accept the isness of what is first. Never stop thinking positive. You have to think of a way to solve the problem. Have faith in your abilities and be open to take help from those who know better. Never let the problem become bigger than you. Become a witness to the problem and now think of a solution. Even when it seems difficult, keep saying, I can do it. Never say, I can't. Saying, I can connects you with your courageous self. It connects you to the solution. It connects you with thinking from the end in a positive light, and it connects you to your higher self. That is your intuitive self, which always has the answers to all your problems, but only if you are aligned to it. It is a very good idea to become a witness to your problem. Have you seen? You give really good ideas when somebody else comes with a problem to you. You have really fine ideas. This is how you can solve your problem. But when it comes to you, you do not know what to do. So become a witness to your problem. Look at your problem from a detached perspective and become like a third person is looking at a problem. Now you look at your problem as a third person and you'll come at really better solutions, because looking at your problem from a detached perspective always brings better solutions. It gives you clarity of mind. You'll tap into your intuitive powers to solve your problem. So do your best and leave the rest. Leave the rest to the higher source, to the universe. It has the power to solve all your problems. And now maybe the problem is not under your control, but your attitude towards the problem is yours. So always say, I can. Your attitude should be one of, I can do it, I can solve it, it will be done, and it is not impossible. Nothing is impossible. Even impossible says, I am possible. So manage your attitude, your own attitude towards any problem that is under your control. Now sometimes when nothing works, then you just need to let go. Let go. Do nothing. Say nothing. Don't do anything and let the problem just be. And you will see that the solutions come on their own. It is solved for good. And then you'll be full of gratitude. Who solved the problem? You'll keep wondering all the time. The higher source is always there with you. A man once complained to God, I'm always praying to you, and always I have seen there are 4 feet on the ground. You are always walking with me in good times. But during problems, when I was really going through difficult times, I could see only 2 feet on the ground. Where were you? Why did you leave me? And God answered, I did not leave you. I held you in my own arms. I was always there with you. So you see, sometimes when certain things feel like there is no solution to this, then just let it go. Leave it to the higher source and let the higher source give you the solution, send you the solution in ways that you and I can never comprehend. So that is when you see miracles in your life. This is how you solve your problems. Thank you so much, Inner Universe community. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I am Sanchita Pandey, your mentor and spiritual guide, and my message to you always is, I love you. I wish abundance, good health, prosperity and bliss and lot of love in your life. Thank you so much for being here with me. Namaste.